Greetings and welcome everybody. So I just got my hands on the brand new Samsung Galaxy M30s, and guess what? This phone has a big 6000 mAh battery. Yes, that is correct. And you know what? I love it when manufacturers push the limits. So this is the box in which the phone comes in. Now the specifications is what makes this phone really special, or I should say price to specification ratio. Now I already told you about the 6000 mAh battery. Then we have a triple camera setup. 48 megapixel main camera, 5 megapixel depth sensing camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, and a 16 megapixel front facing camera. By the way, the rear camera also records videos in 4K, and we've got a 6.4 inch full high definition plus super AMOLED display. Coming to the CPU, the M30s uses the Samsung Exynos 9611 with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of memory. The Exynos 9611 is a mid-range CPU and it should be able to run all the latest games on Play Store. But yeah, we will do a separate gaming review video on this phone. And you also get a micro SD card slot. And unlike the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, the M30s actually has a headphone jack. So that's one plus point. You also have FM radio, a fingerprint scanner, and the M30s runs the latest Android 9. And really the best part about this phone is its price. You get all these specifications just for 17,000 rupees or about $220 US. That's actually a really good deal, and I bought mine on Amazon. If you want one, the link is in the video description, and right now Amazon has some offers going on, so you might want to check with Amazon for the latest offer on the M30s. Okay, so in this video, we will unbox the M30s. We will check out all the accessories Samsung provides inside the box. Then we will turn the phone on and check out all the different features. We will test out the camera, check out the low light performance, video quality. Then we will also check out the phone's gaming performance, multitasking performance, display quality, and all the good stuff. Now, one thing I will not be covering in this video is the battery backup. I want to give the phone at least 1 week, and after that I will make a completely separate video about how the battery backup is like on this phone. Okay, so I've got the seal open. Let's take the phone out of its box. And actually I kind of unboxed it off camera to hide the IMEI number which is on the back of the phone. But yeah, this is the Galaxy M30s. Let's take it out. And this is the blue color. And see, I've stuck a tape over here on the plastic so that I can hide the IMEI number. Yeah, not a bad looking phone. This is your fingerprint scanner. Got a triple camera setup. Got LED flash over there. Okay, so I'll set the phone aside and take a look at the accessories inside the box. So this is the charger, and this one has Samsung adaptive fast charging. So it does come with a fast charging charger, and by the way, this is a 15-watt charger. So I'm not sure how much time it will take to charge the 6000 mAh battery, but yeah, we will do some tests later on and we will see how long it takes to charge the battery from 0 to 100%. And here we have the USB Type-C cable, USB Type-A to Type-C to connect the phone to the computer and to charge the phone. And it looks like that is it. Samsung has not provided any headphones, so that's a bummer. You'll have to buy your own set of headphones for this, or earphones, whatever you want to call it. Let's see if there's anything over here. Should be documentation inside. That is your SIM card ejection pin. So we have a quick start guide, regional lock guide, and warranty card. Okay, so the regional lock guide says this product, the phone should be activated with a SIM card issued from a mobile operator within India. To use SIM cards from other regions or other countries, over 5 minutes of calls must be made with the SIM card which has been issued in India. First, you'll need to activate this with an Indian SIM card, make 5 minutes of calls, and then you can use the phone with foreign SIM cards. And this is the quick start guide. Let's take a quick look at this. It shows you how to install the SIM card. Let's take a look at the back. Just pause the video if you want to read what's written on here. And by the way, the SAR value of this phone is 0.468. So now let's take a look at the phone itself. Take off this plastic cover. So this is the phone. Looks like we have a plastic back. It's very glossy, by the way, and looks like we have got a 2-color back, blue here and turquoise over here. And our three cameras here, the top one is the depth sensing camera, the middle one is the main 48 megapixel camera, and the bottom camera is the 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. None of these cameras have OIS, and once again, considering the price point, I won't expect any OIS or optical image stabilization on this phone. Then we have the LED flash, fingerprint scanner. The front of the phone is dominated by the 6.4 inches full high definition plus super AMOLED display. Now the resolution of this display is 1080 pixels horizontal and 2400 vertical. And just so you know, Samsung is using Gorilla Glass 3 on the M30s. But by the way, there's no pre-applied screen protector on this, so you might have to go out and get a screen protector for this phone. And finally, on the top we have the notch. This houses the 16 megapixel front facing camera, and Samsung calls this Infinity U display because of that U-shaped notch. And on the right side we have the volume rocker, nice tactile feedback, we have the power button, and on the left side we have the SIM card and the micro SD card slot. At the bottom of the phone we have the single down-firing speaker, a microphone, USB Type-C connector slot, and then the 3.5mm headphone jack. And finally, on the top of the phone we have the secondary microphone. Now the battery is not user replaceable, so do keep that in mind, and the phone is not water resistant, so don't expose this phone to rain or water. Now look at the SIM card tray. You can use two SIM cards and a micro SD card together. But yeah, I'm just gonna use a single SIM card which I've got over here. So time to turn the phone on. Just press and hold the power button and the phone will turn on. Okay, take a look at those rounded corners. Man, those rounded corners are insane on M30s. Just look at how much rounded the corners are. That is a personal choice, but I do prefer the screen to have less rounded corners, like this one. So I'm just gonna sign in, be right back. Okay, so I have just finished the initial setup, and this is how your phone will look like when you start using it for the very first time. So this is our home screen, and it looks like Samsung has installed a fair bit of bloatware. So Booking.com, Daily Hunt, Samsung Max, Samsung Global Goals. I'm probably going to uninstall all of these apps because this just takes up extra space. And I have to say this, the screen on the M30s does really stand out because this is a Super AMOLED display. That means unlike an LCD, the Super AMOLED display does not have a backlight. The pixels themselves generate their own light, and that translates into infinite contrast. That means blacks are 100% blacks, as you can see from this little demonstration, and just look at that difference. Blacks look gray on the LCD because the backlight is bleeding through the pixels. By the way, this is normal for an LCD. This happens on all LCD displays because LCD TVs have a strong LED or a CCFL cold cathode fluoro backlight. And not to mention how nice and punchy the colors are. I love the display of the M30s. Now even though this is a 6.4 inch Full HD display, that means the resolution isn't particularly that high. You can barely see the pixels. You really have to look close up onto the screen to notice them. And if you are wondering, yes, the phone does play back 4K 60 FPS videos. So here's a 4K 60 FPS clip. I've recorded this video myself on the Galaxy S9 Plus. So we're gonna play this back. And I'm just gonna change the screen orientation. So this is how 16:9 videos look on this phone. We have black borders on either side. We can stretch the video out, stretch, and this is a better option, crop to fit. And now as you can see, the video is playing back full screen. Increase the volume. So yes, 4K 60 FPS videos do play back on this phone flawlessly. You will not be able to tell on the camera because I'm recording this video at 4K 30 FPS. My camera does not do 4K 60, but yeah, the phone does play back 4K 60 FPS videos. And I just adore the AMOLED display on this phone. It is gorgeous. And I don't think this notch is going to be a problem. This thing is tiny. But yeah, the display quality on the M30s, fantastic. Love it. Also, the display of the M30s gets plenty bright. So right now it is at about 80% brightness, and this thing is bright, and the most comfortable brightness is around 30%. So this is about what I'll keep the phone at. But yeah, this screen gets bright. Enjoying the content? Well, make sure to subscribe and do press that bell icon so that you can get notifications to my latest uploads. Let's continue. Even though the Samsung M30s has a big 6.4-inch screen, one-handed texting is definitely possible. And this is SwiftKey keyboard. I don't like to use Samsung keyboard, SwiftKey is better. But then again, one-handed texting does depend on how big your hands are. I have medium-sized hands and I can text using one hand, no problem. See, I don't have any issues using one single hand, and you can find SwiftKey on the Play Store. The Samsung M30s weighs about 189 grams, so this phone weighs almost 200 grams, and comparing that to the Samsung Note 10 Plus, the Note 10 Plus weighs 198 grams, so there's not much difference between the weight of these two phones. Now, because the M30s has a 20:9 aspect ratio display, whenever you play back videos on YouTube that are in 16:9 aspect ratio, they will have black borders on either side. What you can do is just zoom in like this, and then the videos will run full screen. And the maximum quality you can view on YouTube is in 1080p. So no 1440p option, and you don't need 1440p because this is just a 1080p display. But yeah, the quality of the display is good. No complaints about the display quality. Okay, so I have installed two applications. I've installed WhatsApp and I have installed PUBG. Now let's check out the storage on the phone. Let's go to settings. Let's go to device here, storage. See how much storage we have out of the box. So 102 gigabytes of space is available to the user. Do keep in mind, I have already installed PUBG and WhatsApp Messenger, so that will be taking up a little bit of space. But yeah, I don't like the fact that Samsung has included so much bloatware. I'm just gonna uninstall this because I'm not gonna use it. Same goes for Daily Hunt, uninstalled. No thank you, I don't want these. I don't want all this bloatware on my phone. So that has freed up almost 400 megabytes just by removing those three apps. And let's check the RAM usage. Let's go to memory. This phone has 6 gigabytes of RAM. So we have 3.1 gigabytes that's already free. You can clean memory up by pressing this, but I don't recommend that you force close all the background apps. Let them run in the background. They're just going to restart once again after you close them. So that's going to use even more battery power. But yeah, out of the box, we have about 3.1 gigabytes of RAM available. That's plenty of storage for all your gaming needs. The fingerprint scanner on the M30s is also fairly quick. So let me just give you a quick demonstration. See how quickly the phone unlocks. Once again, put the phone to sleep. And bam, the phone just unlocks in a fraction of a second. Alright, let's fire up the camera. Looks like the aspect ratio is set to 3:4. Just zoom in a little bit. If I tap over here, you can change the aspect ratio. If you want to use the full 48 megapixels, you can also do that. Take a picture. Takes a little while to save the picture, and here it is. Let's zoom in. Holy crap, look at that. Look at that. I mean, you can zoom in all the way and there's little to no distortion in the photo. That's because it's a 48 megapixel photo. So let's go back here, and I would probably keep this aspect ratio on 16:9 or 9:6 because almost all computer monitors and TVs are 16:9 aspect ratio. But yeah, if you want, you can shoot photos at 48 megapixels, so that option is there. By the way, you can also select full if you want the camera to use the entire display of your phone. Let's go to camera settings. We have scene optimizer. Let's take a look here. So yes, you can record videos in 4K. And this is 4K 30 FPS, not 4K 60. I don't expect a budget phone to do 4K 60. Let's go ahead and actually test this out. So let me just start recording on the M30s and we will cut the video right here. So this is actually being recorded on the M30s, and wow, actually this camera gets quite close to objects without everything getting blurred. So that is fairly decent macro capability. You can even see the dust that is on my desk. The focus system seems a little bit slow, but that's fine. I don't think many people will record like this up close to the objects. The quality also seems good, but then again, this is quite well lit. I mean, look at all the details that this thing is able to pick up. Very impressive for a phone that costs only $220 US. It's gonna move out. It takes a little second. It takes about a microsecond for the focus to readjust. I will just show you that once again. So this is macro, and if we go back here, it takes about a microsecond to readjust. Okay, so I took the phone outside for a spin, and right now I'm shooting a video of a flower in 4K. Now as soon as I pan the phone up, you guys will see that the autofocus takes about a microsecond to readjust. So yeah, this phone does not have the fastest autofocus in the world, but yeah, it gets the job done. And it looks like when you're recording in 4K, you have a 10-minute limit, but after that 10-minute limit, you can start recording once again. Now when you are in video mode, you have a feature called Super Steady. You see that hand icon? You press on this and Super Steady will turn on. Now Super Steady uses the ultra wide angle lens camera, and it adds an additional layer of video stabilization. And here's a quick comparison. So this part is shot without the Super Steady feature turned on, and this has been shot with Super Steady turned on. See, it makes a lot of difference. The video is a lot more stable after turning on Super Steady. So these are some photos that I shot on the M30s. I have shot these in auto mode, so not using the manual mode, and the picture quality is fantastic. HDR turns on automatically. Although I do feel that the photos are a bit oversaturated, but they do look nice. The noise levels are also quite minimal in daytime. Now the Pro mode on the M30s is quite limited. So for example, you don't really get to control the autofocus system unlike on the Note 10 Plus. So there is no way you can control the autofocus system. You only have three options: ISO, white balance, and this exposure control. You cannot even set the shutter speed manually in the Pro mode on the M30s. So this is why I recommend that you use the auto mode, which is the regular photo mode. And if you tap over here, this will activate the ultra wide angle lens camera. So this photo has been shot on the regular camera, and this is with the ultra wide angle camera. We have night mode. Surprised to see a dedicated night mode on a budget phone like this. Okay, so we are going to test out the low light performance of the camera. I'll fire up the camera first. So this is in regular mode. I'll turn on scene optimizer so that we can get the best quality photo. So I'll just take a picture here. And this is in auto mode. Now we will move on to night mode. Now it does take about 1 to 2 seconds for the phone to save the photo, but this is in night mode, and this is in regular auto mode. So that was photos. What about video? Let's go to video once again, and I will start recording. Okay, so we are testing out video quality in low light on the M30s so that you guys can get an idea of how the video quality is like. One thing I'm noticing is that the camera is blowing up the brightness of these lamps. So I'm gonna have to tap on the lamp itself and manually reduce the brightness. So now it looks much better. So I'm just gonna disable that. But yeah, it's not bad considering it's a budget phone. So don't expect the camera of the M30s to perform miracles, especially in low light. Even though this is a 48 megapixel camera, megapixels aren't everything. The 12 megapixel camera of the Note 10 Plus will outperform the 48 megapixel camera of the M30s massively and by a huge margin, especially in low light. But then again, you have to consider the price point of the Samsung M30s. This is a budget phone and Samsung will have to cut down on features. The Note 10 Plus is almost 5 times as expensive as the M30s. The camera of the M30s can also record videos in super slow motion. But the problem with super slow-mo is that there is no automatic motion detection. And if you don't have automatic motion detection, that makes recording super slow motion videos very difficult because timing is crucial. So my Note 10 Plus has this automatic motion detection mode, and whenever an object passes through this box, it will record a super slow motion video. But the M30s does not have it. So here's a little clip that I was able to record, but I had to try like 5 times to get the perfect timing. So now let us move on to the front facing camera. You can just swipe down like this and that turns the front facing camera on. Now you see this thing? This is wide and this is slightly zoomed in. This is just cropping the image from the main camera sensor because there's no secondary camera over here. And by the way, the front facing camera of the M30s is a fixed focus lens camera. So there's no autofocus on the front facing camera and it's a fairly wide angle camera. Now can you guys see this magic stick over here? If you tap on this, it will open up the filters. So these are a few built-in filters on the phone. If you want, you can download more of these from the Galaxy store and it takes you to this page. And we can just download more of these if we want. Let's download this one. Okay, so these are now installed. Let us go back. Let's tap that icon once again. So these were the filters that we just downloaded. So this is really nice. We have a few filters that are built in. Then you also have some beauty effects. You can make your face a little bit slim, but I don't see the effect that much. But yeah, the effect is not that much. You can see it does not make much difference. But yeah, at least we have built-in filters. Also for background blur, we have something called live focus, and this will add background blur to your selfies. Just like that. Can you see that background being blurred? I actually took a selfie with this background blur thingy and you can see how the background is blurred. And by the way, these are all low light selfies and you guys can probably tell the quality is actually quite good. So here's another one that I took. If I zoom in, the picture is clear. You can even see my beard in this photo. So yes, the front facing camera of the M30s is good and you can actually expect better quality photos than these. This is just shot in low light and indoors. If you're shooting photos outside in broad daylight, do expect much better quality than this. Hey guys, just testing out the video quality of the front facing camera on the Galaxy M30s, and it looks like the video quality is quite good. And the video I'm recording is in 1080p because the front facing camera of the M30s does not record videos at 4K. But yeah, I'm quite satisfied with the video quality. It's quite good. So that was a quick tour of the camera, and let's go to settings because I want to check out one thing. Let's go to lock screen. Okay, so this phone does have always on display. That's great because I want to see how it looks like on this screen. So that is the always on display. I do like having always on display because this phone does not have a notification LED. So that's great. At least we have always on display. Now coming to sound quality with wired headphones, I would say that the sound quality of the M30s is actually as good as the Note 10 Plus. I have been listening to songs on my Sony Extra Bass headphones, and also I tried out these USB-C earphones which came with my Note 10 Plus. Yes, USB-C earphones also work with this phone. So once you actually plug in your headphones, if you go to settings, and if you go to sounds and vibrations, and if you go to advanced sound settings, then sound quality and effects, you get Dolby Atmos. I would turn Dolby Atmos on because it does increase the sound quality. Music sounds rich when you turn on Dolby. Then you also have equalizer, then UHQ upscaler. And by the way, if you are wondering, yes, you can run YouTube in a window. because Google does not allow you to run YouTube in the background. So let me just show you how to do this. So once YouTube is in full screen, tap on this recent button, then tap on the YouTube icon, then tap open in pop-up view, and this will open up YouTube in a little window, and you can listen to music and also do some other stuff on your phone. Okay, so moving on, the next thing I want to do is hear how the speakers sound like. The M30s has a single down-firing speaker, so there are no stereo speakers on this phone, even though Samsung could have included stereo speakers easily because we have a cutout over here for the earpiece speaker. This could have easily doubled as a second speaker, but yeah, Samsung is trying to keep the costs down. Okay, so let's launch Google Play Music. Let's go ahead and play this. So it's actually plenty loud, but at maximum volume the sound kind of distorts. It sounds the best at 80% volume. Now coming to performance, the M30s is running the Exynos 9611 CPU, and that is paired with 6GB of RAM. You also get the M30s with 4GB of RAM, but I would avoid the 4GB version. Instead, I would recommend that you go for the phone which has 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. But yeah, coming to performance, everything seems to be alright. I can open up apps, and yeah, the phone does perform okay. So look at this, I've got most of the apps open. I've got gallery open over here, I've got YouTube playing a video, then I've got WhatsApp Messenger running in the background, and also web browser is running, and it seems like the phone is performing okay. I don't feel anything lagging and nothing is slowing down. Yeah, a little bit of lag there. Now it's okay. So this phone can also do true multitasking, which is having multiple apps open together. And hey, seems to perform okay. I can even open up camera if I want to take picture. But when you open up the camera, the phone does become a little bit slow, so you can see there's a slight bit of lag, but that's alright. But I'm still impressed how Exynos 9611 is keeping up, because that is a mid-range processor. So I'm gonna play PUBG Mobile and see how the phone performs, and I will close all these apps up. Recents, close all. So now let us go ahead and run PUBG and see how this phone performs. By the way, this phone also allows you to record your own gameplay. So let's bring up the nav bar and press down this icon here, and this will open up Game Booster. From here you can take a screenshot, you can also record your game. It will show you your battery level and the hours you can play on a single charge. So settings, graphics, yes, this phone can run this game at HDR and ultra settings. You know what, I'm gonna try HDR and ultra, and then if the game doesn't run fine, we can go to smooth and select the extreme option, which gives you a nice smooth gameplay. So first off, HDR ultra, okay, then I have selected realistic, anti-aliasing is enabled, not screen, and auto adjust is disabled. So let us go ahead and play this and see how the phone performs. Okay, so we are in the game, and it looks like everything is nice and smooth. So far so good, and the game is actually running at 30 FPS. It does not feel like it's running at 60, but at ultra settings with HDR turned on, yeah, it's going to run at 30 FPS. So let us go to smooth and extreme and see if it makes any difference. Oh yeah, now the game is running at 60 FPS. So I think this smooth setting is much better. I'm gonna keep it at this because the game is definitely working better. Oh, there he is. Yeah, buddy, you are going down. I think I need to rearrange these controls. Is there someone outside? I think. Oh, hey. Wow, that guy just came right in. Oh, there you are. Holy crap. Oh, I see him. I see you, buddy. Well, that's it. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. How about that? But as you can see, the game works perfectly fine on the Galaxy M30s, and one match of PUBG consumes about 4% battery. So we are now at 96, we started from 100%. So not bad. Having a big battery does have its own advantages, and the phone is slightly warm. Actually, the phone is quite warm from over here, but that's normal. If you're playing a game like PUBG, the phone is definitely gonna get hot. Now, one thing that is missing on the M30s is NFC. So do keep that in mind. You don't have NFC on the M30s. So whenever you have to pair a Bluetooth device, you will have to do that manually, and you cannot make payments using NFC. I think that is understood. Okay, so one question you guys might have is, does the M30s support USB on the go? Well, yes it does, but you will need a USB Type-C to USB Type-A adapter. This is the adapter that came with my Note 9, or else you can grab yourself a USB Type-C thumb drive. So what I'm going to do is plug this thing into the phone and plug in the USB drive here, and it will work on the phone and we can transfer files. So if I drop down the notification panel, you can see SanDisk USB drive, it's working. And if I open up a file manager, you will be able to see the USB drive is connected to the phone. So these are some video files that I transferred. We can play this back on the phone. So this is playing directly off that USB drive. So USB on the go does work on the M30s. So the other day someone asked me on Instagram if there's a built-in call recorder on the M30s. Well, yes there is. You open up the phone dialer, press on these three dots, go to settings, then you have the call recorder. Just turn on automatic recording, confirm, and now the phone will record calls from all the numbers. You can just choose to record from unsaved or the selected numbers. But yes, there is a built-in call recorder on the M30s. So concluding thoughts, I feel that the Samsung Galaxy M30s is a fantastic value for money phone. It's got all the basics covered. We have a huge 6000 mAh battery with fast charging. Haven't seen another phone in this price range which has a 6000 mAh battery. Then we have a Super AMOLED screen, a fingerprint scanner, a decent front and rear camera, 128GB of storage with 6GB of RAM, and you guys have seen the performance is also quite good. You really can't go wrong with these kind of specifications at such a low price point of 16,000 rupees. So this phone gets a huge thumbs up from my side. Okay, so that pretty much brings us to the end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed, and if you did enjoy, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to me on YouTube, and do follow me on my social media accounts. All the links are down in the video description. And if you have any questions about the M30s, do leave them in the comment section down below, and I will be more than happy to answer them. And I will see you guys next time.